Ladies and gentlemen, there is that ascending triangle on Bitcoin's 4-hour chart that I've been pointing out in my last few videos and why I thought it was going to break to the upside. Um, as you know that I've been kind of comparing the Bitcoin chart to the Ethereum chart, as I figure the Ethereum chart is kind of leading the way in the crypto space right now, or at least between these two trade pairs. And yeah, basically we had our Ethereum break last week, and I've been waiting for Bitcoin to play out next, and that's exactly what we got this morning. One thing I want to mention on this 4-hour candle here, this big, beautiful, engulfing candle, as beautiful as it looks, I bet it wrecked a lot of people, both bullish and bearish traders. And I'll dive into that when I zoom in, you'll see exactly what I mean. But for now, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart. I also want to take a look at the daily chart here. Look at that engulfing candle with the body close above my purple resistance line, which would be the local high of this trade range here, this triangle where it began. Even if I go back a little ways, you can see that it has a bit of interaction with the top of this cluster right here. So the fact that we engulfed those areas and actually got a close above looks very beautiful to me. I wouldn't be surprised if later today we get a bit of a retrace down to this line, which would be around 1200 or 12,100, sorry, somewhere in there, but that doesn't have to happen. We'll have to see if FOMO kicks in, and also we'll have to see if this does happen to be a fake out. I can't see it just with how beautifully that did close, but you never know, guys. You always want to have a plan B, have an exit strategy in case things reverse, that sort of stuff. Of course, none of this is financial advice or trading advice. Always do your own research and your own due diligence. I am only showing you what I'm looking at in the chart and how I'm looking to play this market. None of what I say should necessarily impact the way you're trading without you doing your own research first. I'm only trying to point out some technicals that I'm seeing, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two from it. And with that being said, guys, if you do like my content and appreciate it, please give me a like and a subscribe. Take that little bell. And with that, I'm going to carry on here. If I go to the weekly chart, you know I've been pointing out this potential bull flag right here, and my target being around the 15,200 somewhere in there. And I even said that if this flagpole on the way up, we ended up getting a bit of resistance, a bit of a cluster in here. And even though we weren't getting engulfing candles ever since a few weeks ago, we had our wick up to here at about 12,100, and our next two candles did not eclipse that with the candle close. But the fact that we did that on the way up makes me think that the breakout move would be very similar. So as long as we don't get any nasty red candles forming on this weekly pattern, I see no reason why we wouldn't reach about, well, 15.2 thousand is my target, but anywhere in that 15,000 area would be a nice round number, a very reasonable target. Again, going back to this high, our previous uptrend high at around 13.9, 14,000, somewhere in there, would also be a potential rejection zone. Not saying we have to make it that high. Again, this could be some sort of a fake out, and we could drop right back down below this purple line. But I want to go into a few reasons why I don't think that's necessarily true. Another thing, if I zoom out even further, this is something I never do, guys, on my own or in the channel, is going all the way out to the monthly chart. Look at this massive monthly engulfing candle. We did have even a monthly close above this horizontal resistance that I had mapped out. It doesn't look quite as significant on the monthly because obviously there's less candles touching it, but you can see these candle wicks definitely respecting that resistance zone. And we got a beautiful close above that, and as well, this new monthly candle has retested it perfectly. It looks absolutely beautiful. So if we could keep hammering up and keep breaking these purple lines, there's going to be a lot of happy bullish traders in the crypto space here. But now I want to, this is my Bitstamp chart. It's just a little cleaner. It has less going on, so it's just a little cleaner while looking at the macro trend. But I want to zoom back into the 4-hour chart here. And I want to get into why I think this 4-hour candle wrecked a lot of people. We're going to jump back over to my BitMEX chart because that's where I do most of my trading. Look at this candle here, guys. I was watching, I was in a vehicle, not driving by the way, but I was in a vehicle as a passenger and I watched this candle happen. It had a beautiful breakout, and the fact that we got above this purple line, again, that's the top of this whole 4-hour triangle, right? The green line will be the triangle resistance, and the purple horizontal line will be the very top peak of that pattern. So let's go back to the 15-minute chart, knowing that. You can see that we got above both that green resistance as well as the purple horizontal resistance, but we never had the close. And after we got up to about 12,270, somewhere in there, we dropped right back down very harsh to 11.6 thousand. And guys, this could have wrecked a lot of people. If you were to go in with heavy leverage, let's say a 20x trade from the top here, you would have been liquidated in a matter of minutes, because that would be over 100% loss at 20x. And I'm guessing that happened to a lot of people who got extremely bullish with that breakout. And that's very possible because I've been looking at this pattern very bullish, and I still am. The difference is it's good to wait for a candle body close above resistance lines. So what I did is once we got this whole fake out here, you can actually see where we bounced off of here too. I was looking at quite bullishly. I wish I would have stuck in along right there, obviously, but it never happened. You can't always call the exact bottom. But this whole trading range right here, yesterday I mapped out this horizontal resist or support line, sorry, and it's just the bottom of what I'm gonna look at this as an entire trading range in this whole general area. So I made a support line at the very bottom of where this started, and look where we wicked to, guys. As soon as we got near that line, we did dip below it just for a couple seconds, but we shot right back up. Now, what led me to my trade is the next candle. This doji kind of worried me. However, this next candle body, after all that nonsense, did end up getting a close above my green resistance of that triangle. And that's basically my signal to get in there, because I've been watching this pattern for a while and I'm looking at it bullishly. We got that candle body close above, so I took out a 25x long at 12,120. I have took half my profits already. It was at something about a 40% profit, I believe. And I do have half my position riding right now. I am actually considering adding to my position if we get one of many things. For one, we do have this descending channel forming. I know this is just a 15-minute chart, guys, but things are quite bullish right now. So if I could get 3 good touch points along this, followed by, let's say we get our break above and then get a retest of a bit of a support flip, I would be very interested in adding to my position. I don't know for sure if I will, but I'm definitely considering it. If we start getting body closes above this purple line at about 12.5k, then I'll definitely be looking to start looking for some more entries to add to my position. Another thing I want to look at, guys, is if I take a Fibonacci, pull from the bottom where we wick down to all the way to the top, the 382 actually lines up perfectly with my purple resistance line, old resistance, which could now turn into a bit of a support flip. You can see here, even though it was barely trading there, but you can see those candle bodies were definitely respecting that line. And it would make perfect sense to get a bit of a retrace back down, and actually especially right here where our channel would meet up with the 382. A lot of times in a very strong trend, the 382 will be a very significant pullback level. Even if we drop down to the 0.618 as a golden retracement, just below 12,000, that would also be healthy. I also to mention that look where it sits. It does definitely sit above most of the trading action that has happened in this little trade trend here. I'm going to delete that just to clear things up, but you can see that it's definitely kind of respected in all this trading range in here. So That's another level of interest. I don't necessarily think we're going to break back down below 12,000 just because it is a nice round number and we have got some nice action going on above that. So the bulls might really take us for a run here. So I'm really hoping that this 12,170 zone somewhere in there will hold. And yeah, we'll have to see how high she can fly from there. Uh, as I was mentioning, a lot of what I do is I have been looking at Ethereum for some potential indication of where Bitcoin is headed. If I go into Ethereum here, you guys know that I did play this triangle. This is the daily chart, by the way. I was pointing it out on the 4 hour. I took a beautiful trade there, and I'm actually still in it. I only have about 15% of my original position still in play. I've taken beautiful profits. The highest profit point that I took was at 383% or 384. Just absolutely beautiful. That is the biggest percentage gain that I've had in my trading history, so I'm pretty excited with that. The remainder of my position there, if I look at my phone here, is sitting at a 296% profit with the remaining 15% there. So that is just an absolutely beautiful trade. Um, Part of me is wanting to add to my position, especially if we can get some sort of a retest of this white trend line meeting up with that purple trend line. These white trend lines are my more macro trend lines, so they should carry a lot of weight to them, I'm hoping. But this is going to sound silly, but I really don't want to add to my Ethereum position. The reason is I just want to see how high I can see the percentage fly on this trade because it is my record, and now I'm just curious how high I can let that go. If I do want to add to an Ethereum position, what I might do is just use one of my other trade accounts on a different exchange on Bybit or something like that. So we'll have to see. I am going to keep my eye on the chart because, like I said, I often like to use it as a bit of an indication of where Bitcoin is headed. If I were to look for a smaller pattern, I'm kind of watching this yellow trend line here. You can see we have our one touch point, two touch points. I would like to get a third touch point before a break and a retest to enter a position there. And again, I don't even know if I will on Ethereum. It seems like a lot of work to open up my other exchange. So we'll see how that goes. But if I did, I would probably be like looking at taking profits a little sooner than looking at it as more of a snipe. But you guys know that my target for Ethereum has been eyeing up the 475, 480 US dollar mark. So there is definitely room for potential upside on Ethereum as well, I'm thinking. But for now, my focus is on Bitcoin. You can see we're already trying to escape this falling channel here, so we'll have to see. We might even just get a bit of a retest right here with this candle and then blast to the upside. But a lot of times if we set a bit of a local high like this, even if we break a downward pattern, we end up needing 2 or 3 touch points near our horizontal resistance. So even if we formed another smaller ascending triangle or something like that, that could be a beautiful play as well. But for now, I'm in no hurry to add to my positions. I'm sitting in two great positions right now. My Ethereum, like I said, it's around 295. Now it's at 293%, and the remaining half of my Bitcoin position from this morning is currently sitting at a 52% profit. So I really can't complain, and I might just let those positions ride. Worst case, I've updated my stop losses. I can't lose on my positions. So it's a very stress-free ride at this point, but obviously I'm always looking for more entries and more patterns to play and hopefully more profits to be made. So with that, guys, I have stated my macro point of view on these charts many times. You guys know that I've been bullish for quite some time now. If I was looking for a more macro trend lines, I showed you my white lines on Ethereum. I can map something out on Bitcoin here. I'd be looking at something like that. It would not surprise me at all if at some point we retest this white line. It doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying we have to drop down to it right now, but it would not surprise me at all. Oh, sorry. If we ended up trading higher and at some point coming back down to retest it, because right now it's looking like a bit of a zone of interest. So from a more macro point of view, that's a line I'd be interested in watching, but yeah, that could be a long ways away. For now, I'm more interested in the 4-hour pattern, this triangle that we broke out of, and now this purple line around 12.5 thousand. We're gonna have to watch. That is a fairly round number. It would make sense to have a bit of a psychological barrier there, but I think the technicals are still pointing to the upside. If I were looking for a shorter term trend line, I might map out something like so. I'll just change it to yellow here. But that might be a line of interest. If we could get some sort of, let's say we go up and form some sort of a double bottom along that yellow trend line, I'd be very interested in adding to my position. So with that, guys, anyways, I think I've rambled on long enough. Didn't have too much to go over today, but with this breakout of this green triangle, I thought I better at least touch base with you guys. And I did enter a position this morning, so we'll have to see how that goes. And like I said, I'm still in my Ethereum trade, so yeah, life is good. Anyways, guys, with that, I'm out, so stay safe out there, and peace out.